Let's take a look at the chart action for Bitcoin. All right, I'm going to show you the main things that I'm focusing on. Let's take a look at the daily time frame and we'll kind of zoomed out a little bit. So we have support right here, and it looks like we got a little bit of support right there. Let's do a trend line, maybe something like this. We didn't come down and hit that trend line yet, but it looks like we are getting a little bounce. The other thing I've been watching is I did a Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top of this little trend right there. Let's do that real quick. Let's set that up with the Fibonacci tool. All right, so we drag from the top to the bottom, and right now it looks like we bounced on that 50% level. You guys know I like watching that 50% level and the 38% level. It looks like right here we got a bounce on the 38, and then we came up, and then we came down and hit that 50%. So yeah, I think in general this was a nice little area. That's just my opinion. I do think we're still trending down though. Let's go ahead and what I'm saying though is I think this is a nice little area. So let's go ahead and delete this Fibonacci tool, and then the other thing I'm really watching is this resistance right here and this resistance right here. Let's draw a trend line going to the downside. I think this is one of the so we're watching this big support right here, and then we have this resistance going to the downside. I think we're kind of waiting to see if we break up or down for a bigger signal, but in general I think until we break this trend line going to the upside, then it's just going to give us trouble and maybe push us down into this support line. And the other thing I'm kind of seeing is if we go to like the 4-hour or even on the daily, you can see we have resistance, resistance, resistance. It almost looks like we have a nice little trend line, another trend line going to the downside, something like this. So we have two trend lines that we're kind of watching. Boom. Now step one would be break that one, and then step two would break this one. Let's see, hopefully we could break them at the same time. I think if we keep going to the downside, what I'll be looking at is this support right here, and it kind of lines up with this support in general right here. This is sitting at around 53,693. That's the bottom right there. And then if we set up that Fibonacci level again, let's do that real quick. We could do something like this. The 50% at the Fibonacci is sitting around 54,913. So in general, I think this area might be a good area. If it starts heading down again, what I'm thinking is it might hold support right here, and we might bounce in it like this and then get a push out to the upside. But it does look like we had a nice little run. And then we got a little retracement, and then hopefully we can catch support on this bigger uptrend that I showed you at the beginning. Let me delete this. In my opinion, it looks like we're getting higher highs, or we are getting higher highs and higher lows. We have a high right here and a high right here, and then we have a low, and if this is the low, if we could bounce up and then break this high right here, let's say we do something like this, come up to hit something like this, then we're doing higher highs and higher lows. Even in general right now, we still have higher highs and higher lows until we like break this trend line going to the downside, and maybe do like if we have a low right here. If we get lower than that, if we start trending to the downside and then we pop up and get a higher high, get maybe resistance and start, if like that's the high, then that's the signal that we're trending to the down. Now we're in like a bearish momentum on the bigger time frame. But I think we still have this uptrend that we're looking at, and we're still trending up in my opinion. But like I said, we have this resistance level. Let's see if we could break that one. And then we also have this second one, maybe something like this. So these are the main things that I'm watching. This first trend line and then the second trend line. If we can start breaking those, then I'll start getting way more bullish. Or I'll start targeting these previous resistance levels. And then hopefully we could break out of that and get a higher high like I was talking about. Even if we zoom out a little bit more, right here we had a high right here, and we got a higher high right there. We had a low down here, and then we got a low right here. So even in this bigger time frame, it still seems like we're getting higher highs and higher lows, or at least we broke this high right here. It does seem like it's really close though. I mean, you can maybe argue it's a double top, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think this is the main trend line I'm watching, and I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if we break up or down, and kind of wait and see. In my opinion, though, I think we're still trending up, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think.